The third section of your paper is going to be the set of wireframes. And again, on page 2 of the assignment requirements document, towards the bottom of the page, you'll see the beginning of the section on the requirements for wireframes. Basically, your wireframe is going to be a diagram that represents the layout of each type of page or screen. You don't have to have a wireframe for each page or screen, just for the types of different pages. For example, your introductory pages versus your pages for the students to absorb information versus the pages for connect activities versus assessment. Your wireframes must include the navigation that your students will use to proceed through your lesson, the different types of content that you will include on those types of pages or screens. So for example, if you want to locate all videos in a particular section of the page, you represent that. If the text is going to be in another section, where the navigation is going to go. Color code the screens using the same scheme that you used for the flowchart so that it's consistent. And so with regards to navigation, one of the readings from next week, online chapter 15, is going to talk about the navigation. It has the best practices that you have to implement on your lesson. Now remember, don't shrink the image so that it's too small for me to be able to read it. Basically, your wireframes are going to have placeholders for the major sections of your page, so they shouldn't necessarily be all that comprehensive. I'd rather you send me the link to the actual wireframe set if you created it online, if it doesn't fit easily on the page without shrinking it too much. There's also related information that's linked on the course syllabus. If you go to the required reading section, you'll see the link to this document here. It's an article about wireframing from usability.gov, and this site actually is one of my favorite resources for anything that has to do with designing websites. So this particular page provides all the information you'll need to understand what wireframing is. For creating your wireframes, you can certainly use PowerPoint if you're very familiar with it. But in addition to that, you can again use Glyphy as your wireframe tool, or you can use Mockups, MOQUPS, which also allows you to create a number of diagrams for free. Now, one addendum to the assignment requirements document is that if you have already started creating the different types of pages, you can insert actual screen captures from your lesson here to illustrate the different types of pages. You don't then have to go in and create wireframes if you already have those screens taken. This is about the only place that I will accept screen captures. Remember that I said I didn't want screen captures that were text only, so if you feel tempted to take a screen capture of your quiz, don't do that. It's not a very accessible practice. But if you want to use a screen capture here because you already created your types of screens, and you have the heading of the slide and you have the area where the content goes and you have the navigation, that's fine. I will accept screen captures. You don't have to worry about creating wireframes.